Millions of years ago, long before cities, ancient humans found their home in a world of raw, untamed power. Their lives were woven into the rhythms of the earth, their hands and simple tools providing all they needed. Curiosity and play were the lessons of youth, honing the minds that would one day unlock the secrets of survival.
Guardians of their small world, they lived by keen senses and ancient wisdom, ever watchful, ever alert.
Then, a whisper on the wind, a scent of change, subtle at first, yet deeply unsettling to their primal instincts.
The scent grew stronger, a silent warning echoing through their small community, a danger they knew instinctively. On the distant horizon, a dark plume rose, confirming their worst fears.
Panic was a luxury they could not afford. Order, speed, and the wisdom of their leader guided their desperate preparations.
Their home, their haven, was now a threat. They moved, displaced, towards an unknown. Behind them, their world burned. Ahead, a wilderness of untold dangers and colossal, ancient beings awaited. Their familiar world of shade and bounty was gone. They walked exposed, vulnerable, beneath a relentless, unforgiving sun. Every step was a challenge. The harsh earth testing their endurance, forging resilience in hardship. The laughter of childhood was silenced, replaced by the silent vigilance of survival, clinging to the safety of the clan. Water was precious, a lifeline in this parched land. But even here, caution was their constant companion. Then, a sign, not of a familiar beast, but of something immense, footprints etched into the mud like ancient craters. The tracks spoke of a giant, an unseen power that commanded respect and demanded their immediate retreat.
The plains had secrets, and some were best left undiscovered. They moved. Then, a tremor, not of the earth, but of life itself, a deep, resonating.
On the distant horizon, a moving mountain.
They had entered a world of giants, where colossal beings moved with an indifferent majesty, and humans were but specks in their path.
The ground trembled beneath them, a symphony of giants, approaching with a power that dwarfed their understanding.
Before them, a moving mountain range of flesh and bone, the colossal Danatherium, lords of this ancient savanna. Against such scale, they were nothing more than blades of grass, tiny, fragile, hoping to be unseen beneath the feet of giants.
The very earth trembled. A colossal foot descended, a silent hammer of fate, inches from their fragile lives.
The giants were not hunters. Their greatest danger was their indifference, their overwhelming presence, their sheer scale. They lay low, silent, until the last colossal shadow had passed. Surviving meant this vast, open world was a dangerous pathway. For them to survive, they needed to find the hidden paths, the overlooked refuges. Survival here demanded cunning. To navigate the land of giants meant to become invisible, to cling to the overlooked edges of their world. But not all giants were herbivores. Another kind of colossal power stalked the plains, a predator whose fangs could end any life. Roamer. The plains were a stage for titans, and ancient humans, small and vulnerable, were merely struggling. Night brought no comfort, only the chilling symphony of the hunt. The ancient plains whispered of death and colossal, unseen battles. Survival was a constant, tiring dance. Each dawn brought renewed search, not just for food.
The true scale of the struggle was revealed. Not just humans against giants, but giants against each other, in a dance of fangs and tusks.
They watched, horrified, yet learning. The raw brutality of the plains offered cruel, vital lessons in strategy and survival.
The hunters of giants, now feasting. A reminder that even colossal power could fall to cunning and coordinated ferocity.
Every step was now a calculation. Not just where to find food, but where to find safety from the colossal hunters and the giant herds.
To cross the domain of the stegodon, they became ghosts in the grass, their smallness their only shield against crushing power. Inches separated life from death. A casual swing of a trunk, a moment of forgotten insignificance in a world of giants. Above the plains, a silent promise. A fortress of rock, seemingly unbreachable, yet holding the key to their survival. Their path was clear, away from the crushing hooves and tearing fangs, towards the unreachable heights. But the plains were a stage for titans, and the final act of violence was about to begin. The ground itself began to scream, a stampede, a tidal wave of flesh and bone, a force of nature that crushes everything in its path. And behind them, the colossal hunters, turning the herd's terror into a weapon, a chaotic hammer to break the weak.
There was no escape, no outrunning the thunder. Their only hope was to...
They dove into the shallow ditch, a pathetic shield against the oncoming storm of hooves and horns. Above them, a sky of thundering hooves, a river of panic and fear, threatening to crush them in their shallow grave.
Even the great hunters, in their bloodlust, were blind to the small, clever creatures hiding beneath their feet.
And then, as quickly as it began, the thunder receded. The storm of flesh had passed them by. They had survived. But the lesson was clear. The open plains were a battlefield of giants, a place they could not stay.
Their escape was not from a single beast, but from the world of giants itself. Their salvation lay in the heights.
They climbed from their shallow grave, not into safety, but into a desperate race against the coming dusk. Their final crossing. Every shadow was a hunter, every sound a threat. They had to leave the world of giants behind. They reached their sanctuary. But the fortress of rock presented a new challenge, a vertical wall against the world. The escape was not a charge, but a puzzle. A vertical maze that had to be solved with intellect, not just strength.
She found a path, not an easy one, but a possible one. A scar in the rock, a ladder of desperation.
The escape began in earnest. A new battle, not against tooth and claw, but against the unforgiving pull of the earth. Here, the danger was not malice, but simple physics. A loose stone, an unsteady foot, was all it took. With every foot they climbed, their perspective shifted. They were rising above the world that had tried to crush them. The first ledge, the first step of their true escape. A small, windswept island of safety in a vertical sea. They had not won a battle. They had simply climbed away from it. This was the key to their escape. A new dawn, a final climb. The last leg of their journey from the world of giants to a world of their own. The final push. A battle not against a beast, but against their own failing strength and the mountain's steep embrace. Their greatest strength was never in the individual, but in the chain of hands that refused to let another fall. And then, solid ground, the summit, the end of the vertical world, the beginning of a new horizon.
A hidden world, a sanctuary in the sky, untouched by the titans that roamed the earth far below.
They had arrived, not just at a place of safety, but at a place of peace. A world made for their scale. The first taste of clean, safe water. A baptism into their new life, washing away the memory of the plains. And there, a home. Not just a shelter, but a fortress. A place their small, clever bodies could defend with ease.
From their new home, they looked down on the world of giants. The colossal beings were now just a distant memory.
They had escaped, not by fighting the giants, but by finding a world that the giants could not reach. In their fortress in the sky, they found more than safety. They found a new way of life, a new beginning. From their high perch, the colossal beings were no longer a threat, but a distant, silent spectacle. The leader looked upon her thriving clan, her decision to climb validated by the laughter of the young. So how did they escape? Not by fighting, not by being stronger, but by being smarter. Their size was their weakness, but their mind was their strength. And in the world of colossal beings, that was the only escape.